Hello friends, let's talk about today's essay topic. So the topic which we are going to discuss today is some companies sponsor sport as a way to advertise themselves. Okay, so there are many companies, basically the large companies, which spend a lot of money on sports. Why? Because they want to advertise themselves. Some people think it is a good, so some people think it's beneficial for the organization or like in different ways, while others think there are disadvantages. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So whenever the topic says discuss both means we have to discuss both of the opinion. First opinion, it is good. What is good? This advertising and sponsoring matches, and others say that there are disadvantages. So what you are going to discuss here is, in first paragraph you need to talk about interaction. Second paragraph you'll say that okay, sponsoring matches, sponsoring sports events are beneficial. In third paragraph you'll say no, it has many drawbacks. Fourth, you have to give your own opinion, might be 50-50 or whatever you want to say, then conclusion. Okay, and don't forget to add an example. So here first we are going to discuss the topic that what exactly does it mean that they spend a lot of money or they sponsor sports matches. So for the very simple explanation I'll talk about, you might have seen that whenever you go to watch the matches in the stadium, and even if you are not going to watch it in the stadium, you might be watching at home on televisions, in fact in your mobile phone. So you'll see that the dresses, the uniform that players are wearing, you can see any company's logo over there. Then you can see the billboards, the hoardings of any particular company. Then in fact whatever the boundary wall is there where that sports arena, over there also you can see the large company's logo and their names. So these logo are there, these names are there, hoardings are there. Why? Because large companies find it a means of advertising. So advertising means letting people know about their product, letting people know about their appearance. We do exist. This is what these companies want to say, and they just want to put their brand name into your mind. When you keep on reading, you know, whatever the name it is, I won't be taking any name, but whatever the name you read, like KFC, might be McDonald's, might be Coca-Cola, might be Red Bull, any name. So whenever you like keep on hitting at their names again and again, so that is going to make a deep impression in your mind, and obviously some or other day you'll go and purchase these products. Okay, so these ways of advertising are very much influential, because whenever these sports matches, whenever these sports events take place, millions of people watch it. And obviously by sponsoring these events, these sports events, they earn a lot of money. Okay, so basically first we were talking about the topic like companies sponsor sports. Sponsor sports means they pay a huge amount of money to sports events. And why they are paying the money? Because once these sports people, the sports like players, they get a lot of advantages. They'll get a lot of money for their own like training purposes, for their traveling, might be for their accommodation, for their uniform, for their food. So they get all such first class facilities. They get all these top notch facilities. And from where they get all these top notch facilities? Because large companies are sponsoring them. So it is basically a win-win situation for the companies. Why? Because they get a lot of revenue, they increase their profit. At the same time, the sports personalities, they get all the facilities that they need. And in fact, this in turn further motivate the youngsters to participate in these kind of events. Okay, I hope the concept is clear to you, because by the time you don't understand what all the topic means, you'll not be able to explain it nicely later on. Fine. So here I'm going to talk about the benefits, like what all the benefits are. The first we are talking about is without sponsors, exactly what happened. Without sponsors, sporting events cannot take place. Since they pay for sports equipments, whatever the equipments are needed, obviously they need quite expensive equipments than the dresses, the uniform that they are wearing, like wearing the logo of that company, and travel expenses, and in fact for the training also. Okay, so everything requires a lot of money, a huge amount of money that is paid by these companies. So sponsors pay them money, so they get better facilities. At the same time, sponsors, they get an opportunity to advertise their brand, to advertise their name during the matches, and in fact on the uniforms of players. The second is companies, they earn huge profit by advertising in sporting events, since a lot of followers are there. People who watch these matches, obviously they'll be watching these advertisements also by default, and increasing their presence in market. And at the same time, it creates plenty of job opportunities also, because these advertising industry, that is a kind of creative industry where different segment of people, they are working. So if they are sponsoring event, obviously in any way they are creating job opportunities for the local people. Okay, so these are the advantages that advertising company get, local people get, and at the same time players also, they do get. Now we'll talk about the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? So obviously as an individual, we might face these disadvantages. First is sports personalities. So they have a huge influence on youngsters, and youngsters believe on them blindly. So youngsters, they find sports personalities as their role models. Whatever they are doing, whatever they are advertising, their endorsement, so on everything, youngsters believe blindly. As a result, what happened, these youngsters, they end up buying a product which is not worth buying. Worth buying means that's actually not beneficial for them, but they're gonna buy it. Why? Because they are under the influence of these sports personalities, and they think that if these people are advertising, if these people are endorsing the product, means the product is the best one among all competitors or among the market products, right? So they go and they buy it. In that way, they will be wasting their money that's not needed. Sometimes it spoil their health also. Let's say if like these cold drinks, then might be cigarettes, might be alcohol, if these things are advertised, it's going to spoil the health of the individuals. The second, we talk about that sometimes what happens is these like sponsors, so it can sometimes lead to unethical practices like match fixing. Unethical means that is ethically wrong. These should not be there, but these, that companies, they are ready to invest millions of dollars. So it leads to unethical practices like match fixing, since what happens, these large companies, they want their team to win at any cost. So this passion of winning, this passion of keeping themselves as a superior over others, so in that way it lead to match fixings also. This also might have seen many times, you must have witnessed also, you must have heard about it, match fixing. Okay, so this really happens, and in that way it's going to spoil the spirit of playing, the spirit of sportsmanship. So this is not actually a sportsmanship. This has become a kind of business these days. So it's not always, that is why we put it sometimes over there, and then you can explain about it, right? So what I suggest is that in this particular topic, you need to talk about the advantages and disadvantages, that is somewhere related to sports event and companies and individuals. Don't talk about the general benefits that we get or that people get because of advertisements, because the topic is about sponsoring sports. Relation to the sponsoring sports only, you need to understand what does it mean, what to be written, how to be written. So this is all you need to understand. Then in your opinion, obviously you can take favor of it. It has a lot of benefits, and these drawbacks we can easily ignore. So right education to people, and at the same time the spirit of sportsmanship. So by following these things, by setting the principle in our life, these drawbacks can be avoided very easily. But at the same time, these advantages, these are something, they have become an integral part of sporting events. Okay, I hope this topic is clear to you, and if you like this video, so like it, share it among your friends. If you have not subscribed the channel, subscribe it now, so you'll get all the latest updates. Okay, so keep learning with me. All the best.